Hello, men of Plexus, or at least you're joining us to learn more about Plexus today. I'm Dan Barker. Nice to see you. I'm coming live from Kansas City, actually Lenexa, Kansas. A little about me, I am a gold ambassador with Plexus. I've been involved with the company for, probably about a year now. But my wife is the one that actually got us involved in the company. I'll tell you a little bit later about all that, but first I want to welcome you guys tonight. There's a couple key takeaways that I really want you guys to focus on. One, I'm going to be cognizant of your time. The other gentlemen today are also going to be cognizant of your time because we know that everybody's busy. And we're going to give you as much as we can in a short amount of time. Second, we want you to understand why Plexus is in such high demand. Right now, my wife is texting me as I'm doing this. Sorry, guys. Right now, we just got done. Plexus just got done with a big reveal that completely changed the face of the company, and so there is no better time to jump into this business or product than right now. If you are on this, that means somebody invited you because somebody believes you up of network and mental and the whole kit and caboodle to be successful in this business. And so don't take that lightly because everybody got one invite for this event. So we're happy you're here. We're gonna have some fun. But first off, I was a skeptic. I'm sure a lot of you guys fall in this same category. I know that pretty much every guy on here is going to fall in this category. I was a huge skeptic, and my wife told me that she was going to start on these products to help with her health. She was sick for a long time, and we were looking for some answers. I said, "Great." And me says, "But how much is this going to cost?" And that is where things kind of turned for us, is when I asked that question, was because I was believing that this probably wasn't going to work, but I wanted to know how much I was going to be in the hole after it was all said and done. The reality is that this is one of the best investments we've made as a family, financially, and for our relationship. So I'm going to close it up at the end of this with some other stories, but I'm going to turn it over to Senior Gold Ambassador, straight from Nashville, Jason Tapp. Jason, take it away, buddy.
Thank you, my friend, Mr. Barker. I am going to spend a little bit of time talking with you all about my personal story with Plexus because, well, I mean, it's a pretty extraordinary story, actually. And I was so sick and tired. I was so depressed. I had gut problems. I had back problems. And I just needed to do something. And 2 years ago, I started looking around. I looked at other companies, other supplements, and my wife Monica told me that I should look at this Plexus company that her friend Jacqueline from high school was selling on Facebook. So I sent Jacqueline a friend request. I asked her for the information. I did my own research. I looked into the ingredients and all these products. Went on the supplement websites and all that. And what I found is these ingredients have been around a long time. It's mostly plant-based extracts, and plants have been around longer than we've been around. So I dove in. I dove in, and some of the things that it helped me with, I had acid reflux. I used to take medications for acid reflux. I took medications for high cholesterol, high triglycerides. I had depression, anxiety, took medications for all those things. And after a couple of months of taking Plexus, I just told my doctor, I said, I'm feeling better than I've ever felt. And I don't feel like I need these medications anymore. And so after getting the best blood test I've ever had in my life, here we are 23 months later, and I'm still in the best health that I've ever been in my life. Still haven't taken antibiotics in the past 2 years, and I used to get chronic sinus infections. I used to have low testosterone and give myself shots in the thigh. No more shots. No more medications for depression, cholesterol, for acid reflux. So many things that I actually it's hard for me to even remember all of the issues that I used to have. And now I just take these plant-based supplements. They're good, they're clean. I'm sensitive to caffeine personally. There's no stimulants, no caffeine in the ones that I take. And it's just been amazing. It's been an amazing health turnaround. For the past year, I've been lifting weights, and I'm in the best shape of my life, inside and out, and couldn't feel better. You know, some people are concerned about these things being too expensive, or are they safe? You know, all you have to do is research the ingredients. Think about how much it would cost you if you tried to go out there and get all of this nutrition just from food. It would be a crazy cost. And plus, people drink so much coffee, Starbucks, all this stuff. Sometimes you just have to think about the trade-offs. For $3 or $4 a day, it's the best investment that I have ever had in my life, best investment that I've ever made. And the business side has been wonderful as well. I've never had to pay for my products. They've always paid for themselves. And I've helped literally dozens of my friends with a plethora of health issues. Plexus focuses on blood sugar, gut health, inflammation, and those three things are literally the core and the root to just about any health issue out there. All you got to do is Google them, research it. You'll find out. Blood sugar, gut health, inflammation, it's literally related to just about everything. So that's my story. It's been a wonderful 2 years for me, and you know, I'm a Plexus lifer, so I'm excited to see where this company is going to take us, you know, for the rest of my life. That's my story. I'm going to turn it over to Rob Heffley. He's a little bit of a bigwig in the business. He's a Sapphire ambassador, which is one click from the very top, and he's going to tell you guys a little bit more about the business side of things. Take it.
Hey guys, just quick, you know, you guys hearing me all right? There you go. Hey, I'm Rob Heffley. I'm a Sapphire. I'm not a big deal. I'm just a redneck from Arkansas that I found a business that pays me way better than any other thing else. A little bit about myself. I was one of those guys that my wife joined an MLM company and I went ballistic. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, we're going to lose our friends. Our family's going to avoid us. Everybody's not going to want to be around us, because those people, I avoided them my whole entire life, because they try to get you to come over and eat dinner with me. Then they'd like bust out their company or their product or meet me for coffee. And it was like, I hated those things. One of the reasons I even hated it more, I owned a CrossFit about 5 years ago. So I got bombarded by supplement people. I mean, just everybody wanted to make a buck. And I was one of those people, I was a supplement snob. You know, I took the expensive probiotics and others junk. And I was like, Plexus. And I just had this lady try to sell me Plexus, and she didn't know the benefits. And I'm one of those people, I would tear you apart. It's like, why would you take something if you don't know the benefits of it? And so I just didn't want to, listen to it. But I told my wife, I was like, I need you to make $500 a month. And she joined Plexus, and I told her not to. I think I even said I think I cussed at her about it. I mean, to be honest with you. And she did it anyway. Thank God she didn't listen to me. And I was like, she's like, when do you take me serious? And I was like, you make $500 a month. First month she made $500. And I was like, okay, whatever. She's like, when are you really take me serious? I was like, when you make more money than I do. Well, at the time I had a corporate job, working in gas and oil, and I made about 6 figures. Well, she did that like in 7 months, which, then I, kind of had to eat my words. Had to say, I'm sorry, that you're right. That you, had found something that's better than what we're doing. And we owned a couple of businesses before this, and just, man, I actually had business debt from them. And some did really well for a couple of years. And many of you know, gas and oil is kind of one of those things. It's a feast or famine, and we had good years and bad years. But with Plexus, we've only had good years, and it was only a $35 investment, which blows my mind still that it can repay this many times. But in June, it'll be 3 years that we joined Plexus, and we'll be going this year on our third trip to Hawaii. In June, we'll go to Musha Cay, that's paid for by Plexus, and second time to Vegas. All these trips have been paid for, and I can see this. Since we joined in 3 years, we've made over 7 figures, and from a company that started off with a $35 investment. I want you to listen to that again. In 3 years, we made over 7 figures for a $35 investment. Just do the math, how many times that $35 investment's repaid itself. Quite a few times. And I was saying, like, you guys are the only ones to know. There's several people who makes a lot more money than we do. And they say, well, you're special. You look at me, I'm just a redneck from Arkansas who, I just, to do my best and work and hustle. But at the same time, it's like it's one of those things is everybody starts at the same $35. Everybody does the same amount of work, which that's what I love about it. It's like real capitalism. If you work hard, it pays off. And that's just a big deal. And my wife dove all in, and I finally stubbornly went, in after about 7-8 months. It took me a while to kind of follow her, but she did her thing. It's like changed our lives forever. But what I love about this company is, like, it's not just about, sometimes you can't wrap your mind around making that much money, but, like, we needed to make $500 extra just because of our bills. And we have a ton of people that, hey, we need to make extra $1,000 to pay for our house payment, pay for my kids' braces, whatever. And that's what this company is so awesome about, because whatever you put into it, you can get out of it. I truly believe that. And that's why, we have so many people that join just, needing a little bit extra money. Is because the products are good, the comp plan's good, and it keeps getting better. They add little things that make things way better, and little prizes. Because I'm excited. Like, we're going to Vegas, several of us, in the month, our big convention, and it's not just about. I get to go hang out with my buddies. If you look on my Facebook wall, I got a picture in Vegas last year. We're in a cigar bar hanging out after this gala thing. And gala was, Michael Bolton was there, which that one really cool to me. I had more fun hanging out with my buddies afterwards. But I was like, we're dressed up in tuxedos, which is funny because the only time I ever wear a suit probably, is to a funeral or two, I don't wear one to my own funeral, but my wife made me dress up. But I'm just, like I said, I'm simple, man. I'm just, I like to have a good time, I like to have fun. And I was turned off by some things I really didn't know what it was. And that's one of the big things about you guys, because, man, I shoot guns. I drive a big truck. I'm like, I have a side-by-side. I'm a idiot that still goes mudding, almost 40 years old, and I get out and have a lot of fun still, because that's the way I am. But I was almost turned off because I thought I saw some product that looked pink, and I was like, no, it's not for me. And just because somebody didn't know the benefits of something, almost let that turn me off to something that's completely changed our lives. And what do you mean change our lives? It's not just the money, because, man, it's allowed a sense of freedom. I got to move back to my hometown where my mom lives at, my brothers and sisters. I get to live where I want to live. I get to work when I want to work. I get to drive what I want to drive. And also I've involved a ton of people in our business. It's our family. And even I started another brick and mortar business I actually bought and I've got to employ my brother, my sister, and my nephew work for me in another business that Plexus has paid for. No joke. And I was thinking, that's a big deal to me, because sometimes it's not just giving them money, it's giving them a job, giving them purpose. And Plexus, without Plexus, we would never be able to do those things. And I just, sometimes I forget how grateful I am. A $35 investment, it still blows my mind that, hey, no matter who you are, you can come and join this company and do it. Because there's tons of people being very successful in this business. And like I was telling the guys earlier, when we first joined, I got to be around some of the people in an event, and I was like, man, when I realized, I was like, they're all regular people. There was a few pretty ones, a few smart ones, but I felt like, man, I was like, this is something that I can actually do and be successful at, and not have to work 80 hours a week, and not have to be gone from my family, not have to travel, not have to do all the things I didn't want to do. And I think that is sometimes, it's not easy, and And I think sometimes seeing something that's different, because way we're raised, most of us are raised, American dream, are raised about, hey, trade time for money. And that's, a completely different residual income. If you don't know what residual income is, look it up. Because Plexus, I get paid when I'm sleeping. I get paid when I'm on vacation. I get paid whenever I'm doing. It's like, the work I paid, did 3 months ago, I'm still getting paid for. So, that's something that, I had to learn how to, it's a completely different dynamic. One of those things that, we talk about a lot of times, there's always different kinds of people looking for stuff. Plexus, it's like, hey, I don't care about the business. What happens is we got great products. You can do research on those clinical studies on stuff, don't be afraid to look that stuff up, and we have tons of stuff. If you're one of those people that, hey, I just want to go have fun. You want to go to Vegas? This is the kind of thing, I went to Vegas, Orlando, DC, Hawaii 3 times this year, Musha K, Phoenix 3 times, paid for by Plexus. And all those, it wasn't staying in Motel 6. It was staying in nice places, nicer rooms. I remember the first place my wife took me to in Orlando. We stayed at a Gaylord, and I was one of those people that I couldn't afford to, pull into a Gaylord parking lot, much less go in and get a room. And I remember my wife, I was like, who's paying for this? The incidental, I was like, the cars, yeah, we're going to get charged, $326 a night. I was like, when we leave here. And, but that was my mindset then, because I didn't realize, a company would actually sit there and reward you and treat you good, because all the companies I'd worked for, nothing had ever, like, hey, here's $50, here's your Christmas turkey, good job, for all the time and all the things you've given us. But Plexus is so much different, than what that, and that's where there's no limit. And most people are like, hey, if you cap me, I'm probably going to do that much work and quit. But Plexus, you can keep making more and more, and do as much as you want to, and, be able to have some freedom. And there's just so much out there. And just, like I said, if you're one of those people that wants to try it, we have the cheapest products to try. If you're one of the people that want to start a business, and you can start a business for $35, but there's tons of ways to do this, kind of whatever you think about, if you want a Lexus, which, I don't care about Lexus because I can't hardly fit in them. I'm a large man, as you can probably tell by the screen, like 6 foot tall, like 4 feet wide. But my wife has one that I have to drive occasionally, but I try not to. But we've earned a Lexus, and I was like, those things are like just kind of the perks that go with this. And there's so much, the different parts of it is like seeing there's so much support. And these guys here tonight was kind of cool. No, none of these guys are on my team. And that's what's awesome to me, is like there's like this not cutthroat part. Like, how can I help each other, and how can we help each other be successful and use things? And that's a big deal to me. And I'm one of those guys. I like to have fun. And I went to Costa Rica in January with 3 other Plexus guys that are not on my team. We just got to be buddies from events. And that's such a, some people that say it's crazy. They're work buddies, but I was like, they're work buddies that I met at Plexus that I have nothing to do with, And if you're like me, that part, this is not, like a pink parade. This is not, I got to have these tons of inventory. I don't have to have parties, all that junk, You don't have to have that stuff. And, Plexus is a really, really, it's just a good opportunity. And I would just definitely don't pass up something because it's not what you're used to or looks a little bit different. Because I was almost that guy, and I think about where I would be at right now. And I'm forever grateful for my wife not listening to me, even though, I made fun of her. I did everything possible to sabotage everything. And I even seen really good results in my own. I had like stomach issues. Like, I thought I had IBS forever, but products have helped me take care of all that stuff. But man, I'm going to turn it back to, I think Chris is the one next going to speak, if I'm right, going to tell us a little bit about his testimony. And you guys have a great night. Thanks for jumping on and listening too.
Thanks a lot, Rob. Really appreciate it. I think it's really cool. That's, Rob mentioned it towards the end of the call, but this is the first time Rob, Dan, and Jason and I have all actually had a conversation and talked, and this guy's sharing his valuable time and sharing his valuable resources of just knowing all this stuff. So appreciate it, Rob. So a little bit about my story. Like Rob said, I'm Chris Stein. I'm a silver ambassador. So I've been doing this now. I joined actually on my wife's team, Tracy Stein, who is a senior Ruby, probably about 1.5 years ago. And so I joined on really just to help her get some points one month and be able to kind of continue to move up in her company. And originally was very skeptical. When she first came to me about doing this, it really wasn't even a, hey, can I do this? It was, we just had our 4th kid. She had some baby weight. She couldn't get rid of it. And decided, we had a friend that was posting about this on Facebook and reached out to her and basically just decided to order some product and check it out. And so the great thing about it was, I guess there was a 60-day money back guarantee at the time. So she thought, you know what, worst case scenario, it doesn't work, I return it, we're good to go. So I was okay with it at that point. Probably, I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks in, I start noticing changes. She starts looking thinner, looking happier, more energy. She wasn't as angry with me all the time. Things just got a little bit just more, something was different. And so at that time, I actually said, what is this stuff? I ought to try it out. And so I actually started taking some of what they call the pink drink, which is the slim. And I actually started feeling more energy. We did measurements at the beginning, which was kind of just trying to figure out, is there going to be any change with me? Because I go on these yo-yo diets where I'll do Atkins, I'll do I can't even remember all the names of them, but I've been on every diet you can possibly imagine, and it'll work for 3 months and then I'll fall off of it because it's not sustainable. I like eating, and so it's one of those things that diets never worked. And so I thought, you know what, maybe this is one of those that I'm not having to change the way I'm eating, but it is something that's kind of helping me with, if I'm going to eat something that's not great, it's not going to destroy me the way that it would if I wasn't on this. And so thought I'd try it out. I started losing inches, started losing pounds. More importantly was the inches. It was kind of funny. I never really, if somebody told you you're going on a diet, I assume that you lose weight, right? I actually started feeling tighter. My stomach was tightening up. I didn't have that tire around my stomach anymore. I just wasn't as flabby, and I just felt better. Overall energy was up. I felt cleaner. I don't know what that was all about, but I just felt overall just like refreshed. So I felt there's something to this. Well, then Tracy started sharing about it, and I still was like, Rob, I'm kind of like, God, we're not going to do a multi-level marketing business. I've seen them before. I'm not going to mention any other company names, but this pyramid scheme concept is what I immediately went to. And she started sharing online and only online. And my biggest concern was that she was going to have to do parties, which I was absolutely against. We had other friends that were doing it. The wife was away every weekend doing these parties, and she wasn't, and started making real money. She initially paid for the product. Give you a little background on Tracy. She's a teacher. Was after our 4th child got into school, the expectation was that she would go back to work. If any of you know teachers, it's not an amazing income producing job. And so I fully expected that I was going to be the breadwinner until most likely until I died. I don't know that retirement was ever something that I probably thought was going to happen for us. And it's funny what she's making now. The amount in raises that she's getting on a monthly basis is greater than I probably, and from a percentage standpoint, than I probably had over my career that I've been working for the last 20 years. My background, I'm a banker, so I'm a commercial banker. I've actually been in banking for the last 15 years. I'm our sole breadwinner right now, but that's quickly changing. And I think what's cool about this business is that she's been able to do this. She's been able to take care of 4 kids. I've jumped on. I've been able to do this in my nooks and crannies that I can find. I try not to do it at work just because of the compliance issues that I have. But I mean, just a perfect example, I was last week getting a haircut, and lady that was cutting my hair was sneezing and wiping her nose, and just, you could tell she had allergies. And I just briefly just said, what do you take for them? She went into the Claritin concept. I kind of just went into, hey, I get it. I used to take that stuff. I actually haven't had allergies for the last 2 years, went into Plexus. She bought Plexus after I left, literally logged on to Tracy's account and bought. And so I think what we're looking at is this concept of my retirement initially was what I save into my 401k. And hopefully market keeps going up. I retire by the time I'm 65. That life sucks. I'm not wanting to work a corporate world lifestyle for the next, I'm 38, 37. So the next 20 plus years, 30 plus, almost 30 years. I don't want to do that. I like hanging out with my family. I like traveling. And so I jumped on board with the idea that if I can help her grow her business, in addition to being able to grow a business for myself, I could really see us quasi-retiring in the next couple of years. I mean, with the kind of income that Rob was talking about that he and his wife make, and I'm sure if he was truthful about how many hours he actually is working on a weekly basis compared to, and real like labor intensive work, right? Like when I go to work, I don't want to talk to anybody when I come home. Like that's how just hard worked I am. My mind is spent. I don't have the ability to deal with kids. Like my wife is just as energized as she was when I left the house when I get home at night, because she's dealing with people and helping them get healthier. And she's doing it from her house, and she's doing it from her cell phone, and she's able to drive the kids to soccer practice and still be doing the business at the same time. So that's intriguing to me. I like that concept. I think where I am right now is this idea of being able to turn that into our sole source of income and be able to go on these trips. I mean, right now, our sole vacations on an annual basis are going on these Plexus trips, which is fun because I meet people like Dan Barker, Jason Tapp. These are guys that I get to hang out with and party with when we're in Vegas and make fools of each other while we're dressing up for Halloween costumes. And it's just one of those things that just, at some point you'll see that picture if you ever join on the Plexus. But yeah, I mean, this is a blast. I actually initially thought product and that's all we're going to do. And now we got a business out of it. And I'm amazed at what we've been able to do. I'm amazed at how this has just changed my life. Our relationship is so much stronger because this is something we get to do together. I think that's something that gets looked over. I know Dan and I have had this conversation, just being able to partner with your wife on something other than just parenting, I think is refreshing. It gives you the ability to kind of have something other than, hey, what did the kids do today? Like we can talk about business, and she's my partner and I'm her partner, and I can probably be realer with her than if she had a real 50-50 partner that was somebody that she decided to partner with on another business. So this is a great business. I can't give enough kudos to what this has done for us. And this is coming from somebody that we don't need the income. I mean, we live a pretty good lifestyle with the income that I make. If she decided to go back and be a teacher, it really was only for the purposes of she didn't want to stay at home and sit at home all day long when there were no kids. We've created a business in addition to a legacy that potentially we have the ability for our children to jump into. And just, it's a lot of stress off my back, not having to be 80-hour week work weeks to support our family. So a little bit about me, and by all means, I don't know if there's any contact information, but if you find me on Facebook, feel free to reach out. I'd love to give you any more information one-on-one if there's something I can help you out with or answer any questions for. But I'm gonna go ahead and hand it back to Dan Barker, and he's gonna wrap us up.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, everybody. You guys all did a great job. To wrap this up, as you can see, we're all very busy people. I work for a company, a tech company, and I travel a ton, which leaves my wife home with our 2 kids. And people, the common things I hear are, I don't have time. Trust me, you have time. This fits into the nooks and crannies of your life. Tonight, I'm sitting at soccer practice with my son, and we have parent-kid scrimmage, and I look down at my watch, and bling, you have a new ambassador. That's called residual income, guys. I didn't do much work for that. That was somebody on my team building our team for us. It was absolutely amazing. The other thing, this is an MLM. You don't have to carry any product. I know we talked about it for just a brief second, but guys, that's a huge deal breaker, man. This is a $35. Think of it as a Costco membership. Even if you don't want to do the business, you can spend $35 and get deep discounts on your products they will help you in a health perspective. They will help you with your weight, with your allergies, with a whole bunch of different things that they've helped a whole bunch of people with, including myself. The other thing, we keep talking about ROI. We've heard 7 figures. We've heard we're making 5 figures over at the Barker house with this. Stein's making 5 figures over in his house with this. Taft's making 5 figures. It's a huge blessing. But more than that, the ROI is amazing. Don't get me wrong. But the ROR is even better. The ROR, what's ROR? This the return on relationships. You don't have to be a salesperson to do this. Actually, I am a salesperson. That's what I do for a living. And honestly, I have to put my sales hat away when doing this. This is about sharing. This is about sharing with those that you love, those that you respect, your friends and your family. When you're getting your hair cut and a woman's snotting in your hair, and you say, guess what? I have a remedy for this. It's about sharing. It's about being authentic. And it's about being your own boss. You get out of it what you put into it. You set your own hours. If you want to work from a beach or a mountain or your kitchen table, it doesn't matter. You set your own hours. You are your own CEO. So, with all of that said, guys, we would be thrilled to welcome you onto our teams. We would be thrilled to answer any questions that you have. But the other thing that I'm thrilled to do is to give you a little surprise. So, because you've stuck with us, we're 20 viewers deep right now. Because you stuck with us, if you give this code word to the person that invited you today, you're in store for something great. This code word is ROR, or Return on Relationships. Guys, it's been a pleasure connecting with you, telling you a little bit about our little secret called Plexus. And hopefully we'll see you on one of these trips, whether it be Hawaii, Vegas, or wherever our other adventures will take us. Take care. Thanks, guys.